Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. As you guys can see up on the screen today, I wanted to talk a little bit about Selfmade because there's actually a lot of conversation and discussion going on about him right now. Obviously, he is the current or former jungler for Vitality. It kind of depends how you want to, take things technically because Vitality's season is over. They have been eliminated from the playoffs. They lost to Fnatic this past weekend in Game 5 of their best of 5 series in the first round of the playoffs. They're done. Their year is over, and this is the final year of Selfmade's contract. Now, yes, his contract doesn't actually expire until like November 11th or like November 18th. I don't know, sometime in mid-November, whenever free agency starts. But the speculation, the rumors, all the different roster building, theory crafting, all of that is going to be going around because Selfmade is perhaps the biggest free agent in the West in this upcoming offseason. Now, will he be the biggest player available? I'm not exactly sure, but I do think he is the biggest player who has an expiring contract, which means a ton of people are going to be interested. A ton of people are going to be going after him. A ton of people are going to want him. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. And consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm, to go a little bit extra in helping support me, my content, and my channel. I would appreciate it so much. And that's where you'll find the VODs of my podcast every single week as well. With that being said, here we go. So Selfmade had kind of a crazy, weird up and down year. I think Spring Split, him and Fnatic came in with really high expectations. I thought the pairing of him and Niski as a mid-jung duo was going to work out really well. I thought Selfmade and Niski was going to be a better version of Blabber and Niski that we saw in Spring 2020 for CLOUD9 when they looked so good, playing that aggressive carry-style jungling with that maybe, more roam, team-oriented style of mid lane. And whether it was because of the meta or because they just didn't gel well or because Blippo and Hylissang were running it down or whatever, Fnatic just didn't find a whole lot of success. They were just kind of a middling team throughout the whole season, and that made people start to get a little down on Selfmade, a little down on Fnatic, a little down on all the players involved, really, except for Upset, who just kind of stood out even in that kind of lackluster environment, that lackluster team. And then that obviously led to this crazy offseason of, Blippo role swapping in jungle, Selfmade getting kicked, Selfmade going to Vitality, and all of this weird stuff. So Selfmade came into the year where people were saying he might be the best jungler in Europe. He might be, he might be overtaking Jankos. He might be overtaking all these other guys. He might be the guy in Europe, the next superstar. And then now all of a sudden, after a while, people were like, okay, well, Jankos is better than him, Inspired's better than him, Elyoya is better than him, Blippo might be better than him, Razork might be better than him. People just started passing him up, but I really do think that Selfmade is still absolute top tier in the LEC and probably a world-class jungler. I do think that again, I don't know exactly what happened on Fnatic in the spring, but I do think in the summer, this Vitality roster was just simply not that good. Both SLT and Sigenda in the top lane leave a lot to be desired. I think Leader was maybe the second worst mid laner in the LEC. The bot lane, Crownshot and Labrov, they were okay. They were fine. Crownshot, I think, was decent at some points, and Labrov was good as well at times, but he's still young. He's still inexperienced. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot around this team, and Selfmade had really good numbers. He had great early games where he would path. He would always have gold advantages, but he would still get involved in kills as well. I think he just straight up had some of the best early game jungling, but then they weren't always able to transition that into leads and wins in the mid late game because I just don't think the team was that good. I think making playoffs was pretty good for them overall, considering they had bad solo lanes and a mediocre bot lane. And the LEC is a tough league. So throughout this whole year, I'm not down on Selfmade. I still think he is going to be a big free agent. I still think he could go help a team out a ton. Now, as far as kind of the rumor and speculation that is going on with him, we did actually have this tweet from Applehead. I know we've talked about it a couple times now, but we're kind of going through everything, trying to talk about everything, giving every topic and every conversation, a full discussion, because they each do deserve that, because these are all really big moves. So some of the news here coming from Applehead, again, just rumor, just speculation. Don't take it to heart. Don't get butthurt, anything like that. You don't have to mauled. It's going to be okay. But he is saying that he believes, and he is hearing behind the scenes, that C9 are potentially looking at an EU jungler. And he also says that Selfmade is heavily sought after. So obviously there's been two big main names thrown around for CLOUD9 the whole season. There has been Selfmade, because he is a free agent. He is available. He is going to be able to go wherever he wants to go. and then also Jankos, because we know that Jankos has ties to Perks, has history with Perks, and even though he's not going to be a free agent, there is the potential that G2 could sell him off and try and get a bunch of money, just like they did last year with Perks, and then maybe use that money to go out and buy Selfmade or another jungler, or whatever route they decide to go. But obviously two very, very good junglers in Jankos and Selfmade, one of them a free agent, one of them potentially available, both being tied to Cloud9, who, if they fail to make Worlds for the second season in a row after winning titles in the spring 2 years in a row, could decide to move on from their two-time MVP Blabber in the jungle and maybe sell him off to another team to actually get some money to go make a big move on a jungler. Because for whatever reason, Cloud9, this iteration of them with Blabber in the jungle, for whatever reason, he can't figure it out in Summer Split. He can be amazing in Spring. He hasn't shown how good he can be internationally, and he hasn't shown how good he can be in Summer Split. And it's not only like he's just not an MVP. It's not like he's just like not amazing. He's not good enough to get the team to Worlds. We don't even get to see him at Worlds. We don't even get to see him on like the main international stage. Obviously, we got a little glimpse of it at MSI, and it wasn't great. And that was after he was coming off an MVP split. So I don't even want to know what he would look like at Worlds right now, coming off a split where he looked like a middle of the pack North American jungler. So that is, obviously why Cloud9 could potentially look for an EU jungler. So this could mean Cloud9 Selfmade. It could mean he is one of their targets, and that would be so hyped to me. That would be so exciting. There is, conversation. There is an argument to be made whether or not Selfmade is an upgrade over Blabber. I definitely think he would be, especially over Summer Blabber, but would, like the Selfmade we've seen this season, would he be an upgrade over Spring Blabber? I don't know. I think it would be close. Spring Blabber is an LCS MVP. The only thing is, Selfmade has had and has shown better international performances, and he has shown that he can play at an MVP level as well. So honestly, I would look to take Selfmade. Now, obviously, Selfmade takes up an import slot. He's probably going to be expensive. Who knows if he wants to go to Cloud9? Who knows if he wants to go to North America? And some of the big news we do have there is that Cobalt actually tweeted out, this was today, that he does believe that C9 are looking to replace Blabber with Jankos or Selfmade specifically, but he also has another good source telling him that Selfmade has no interest in leaving Vitality, much less going to North America. So this means that if C9 does get Jankos, Blabber would most likely go to Evil Geniuses, meaning that Sven and contracts would be out. That's a topic for a whole nother video. But Cobalt is saying that he thinks that, obviously, Selfmade doesn't want to come to NA, that Selfmade wants to stay in Europe, that Selfmade even more specifically wants to stay in Vitality, which could be really interesting. We know that Vitality is a very wealthy organization that is probably going to be looking to make a big splash in this upcoming offseason. Now, what exactly does that mean? Does that mean they're going to try and go after a guy like Broken Blade? Does that mean they're going to try and, maybe buy out Wonder from G2? Who are some of the big names out there? Obviously, they need upgrades in top and mid. What are they going to do? I don't know. I can't see Selfmade just wanting to stick around on the 6th place team in the LEC when he probably wants to go to Worlds. He probably wants to compete for titles. There also is still the G2 Selfmade rumors out there, which would obviously allow him to stay in Europe. But I don't know. There is all of this speculation and stuff going around. And just like how, Broken Blade has a bunch of different landing spots because he's the best top laner available in the West, the same thing is going to be happening with Selfmade. He's the best jungler available in the West right now. He's going to be having offers and interest from everyone all over. And just because there's one source saying that Selfmade doesn't want to go to North America or Cloud9, that does not refute these other sources saying that Cloud9 wants him. They can want him without him wanting to come over there. But it is really interesting to me that it's looking more and more like, depending on how these next couple of weeks go for Cloud9, that Blabber could be out. Maybe Selfmade could be in. Maybe another European jungler, or maybe just another jungler that we're not even hearing the name of right now entirely. And this would be a massive story. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Tell me, drop a like if you do enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. What do you think is going to happen with Selfmade in 2022? Where do you think he's going to end up? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.